presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Up and in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
We've got Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, coming up. We're going to shift time with him a little bit, though, because we actually talked with Coach Ulmer before the Ducks traveled out to Louisville, Oregon, at 8 a.m. tomorrow. ESPNU, Nebraska, the opponent in the Sweet 16. Best of luck to the Ducks. We also will have Matt Ulmer from Louisville. Yeah, we're going to do Matt Ulmer in twos, along with a few student athletes as well. Matt Ulmer is one of my favorite people to root for because he just has so much passion. I mean, you see it every time we talk with him. So our conversation with Coach Ulmer, and then also we're going to have a conversation from the press conference that the Ducks actually did out in Louisville just a little while ago, actually, if you're live with us today in the 1 o'clock hour. Your Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, comments, questions, and I'm looking forward to the next few days in a few reasons. One, Oregon volleyball. Super fun. Two, I said earlier this year that when we had time, we would get to a number of different Hall of Fame interviews. Well, because it's finals week and because there aren't a lot of events going on around Oregon athletics right now, actually the next couple days we're going to do that. We're going to revisit the Hall of Fame class that was inducted this fall here at the University of Oregon. And a lot of people actually asked me, like, is there a way to watch the full ceremony? And we didn't stream the full ceremony, anything like that, but the interviews that Jerry and I did up on stage, we're going to have those for you over the next couple days. Speaking of Jerry Allen, voice of the Ducks, is going to join us tomorrow. His thoughts on the college football landscape. Of course, Oregon matching up in the Holiday Bowl. And then on Friday, well, we'll save that for Friday. I do want to point something out, though. We found these around the Oregon Athletic Department today. Ooh. Almost dropped the plaques. We found these around the Oregon Athletic Department today. These plaques are from the last 2 Holiday Bowls that Oregon played in. How about that? So I feel like they should just be in the studio for at least a little while getting ready for the Holiday Bowl. In 2008, the Ducks last played in the Holiday Bowl, and the team plaque, the team picture is here. A 10-3 season. Ducks were ranked 9th in the nation. 2008. Pretty cool. Also, this one not quite as fun. In 2008, the Ducks beat Oklahoma State. Well, I'll move it over for you. In 2005, Oregon went 10-2, was number 12 in the nation, but lost down here to Oklahoma in 2005. But some great faces in both of these pictures, by the way, including none other than Steve Pohl. Steve Pohl, who is in charge of the video operation for Oregon football. He's in these pictures, so Steve, I found him. We're going to keep these in the studio, though, for good juju. I thought that was cool that those plaques still exist around here in the Oregon Athletic Department the last few times that Oregon was in the Holiday Bowl. All right, of note, coming up before we hear from Matt Ulmer, Teddy Bear Toss. Oregon men's basketball against Nevada. Bring a new or gently used stuffed animal to donate to Toys for Tots, the annual Teddy Bear Toss. It's actually, I'll be honest, it's one of my most favorite things every year that at halftime you just throw a bunch of stuffed animals onto the floor at Matthew Knight Arena. And I really want to say a shout out to Les and the entire Matthew Knight Arena events team. because they're going to have their hands full, I hope, with a lot of stuffed animals. Toys for Tots, it's a great tradition that we do every year for Oregon men's basketball. Ducks playing Nevada at 4 o'clock, a good Nevada team. Last night they just beat Pepperdine. Steve Alford, the former UCLA head coach, is the Nevada head coach now. Jared Lucas, formerly an Oregon State Beaver, is one of their leading scorers. They're pretty good. They're 8-2. This is a good matchup for Oregon in a non-conference game coming up, 4 o'clock on Saturday, 3:30 pregame show. And remember, if you're coming to the game, bring that gently used or new stuffed animal to donate to Toys for Tots. It's a pretty fun tradition every year. Also today, some news around Oregon softball. The softball schedule has been released. The Ducks, beginning in February, of course, running all the way through May and June, we'll find out about the Pac-12 tournament, which, remember, first year, Pac-12 tournament makes its debut for Pac-12 softball. The Ducks, though, beginning a number of tournaments and, well, a lot of road trips early in the season for Oregon softball. The 5th year for head coach Melissa Lombardi, a lot of great returners, maybe headlined by Tara McGowan. The Ducks, though, I really think that the season, we all know this, that really in March, it's sort of when things get interesting for Oregon softball. Speaking of Oregon softball, he doesn't know I'm going to do this to him. The voice of Oregon softball, Ryan Milano, is currently in the studio. Ryan, get over here. Let's go. Come on. Now, Ryan's coming on the show on Friday also, so we're going to save some of this conversation for later. But the voice of Oregon softball, Ryan Milano, also happens to be here interning with the Oregon Sports Network. He's not directing the show today because Gabe is. And so, Ryan, we're putting you on the spot. Oregon softball schedule, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's very interesting, especially because the season opens up with 25 consecutive games on the road before the Jane even opens up.
Yikes.
It makes it better for travel for us. They're all pretty much in Southern California after the opening Puerto Vallarta Challenge down in Mexico. So pretty easy travel. We're going to try to make it to every single matchup this year. But really, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that non-conference plays out because there are basically half the season before the Jane even opens.
Yeah, Ryan's a sports director at KWVA. Also, OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire. He doesn't get to tell his 2-minute life story today because he's coming on the show on Friday for that exact thing. But I didn't know that the softball schedule was going to be finalized today. It was. He's here, so there you go. Thoughts on the softball schedule. Pac-12 is always tough, too. Are you excited for the tournament? First time?
Oh, I'm really excited for it, especially because it's supposed to be down in Arizona. I get to go back home, so it should be all sorts of fun.
Good. Well, that was a little bit of your 2-minute life story.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Just a little snippet.
Okay, little snippet. Ryan Milano, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to get timeout. When we come back, Matt Ulmer. You're not going to want to miss it. He was in postseason form. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it. Unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We are back inside the Country Financial Studio. It is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Oregon volleyball matching up with Nebraska. That's big time. And look, this is going to be a road game. It's 8 a.m. Got to adapt. Didn't do any favors to the West Coast teams playing early on the body clock. 11 a.m. local time in Louisville. A little easier to get from Nebraska to Louisville than it is to get from Oregon to Louisville. I think that matters. Now, does it matter to the Ducks? I think they'll probably end up saying no, it doesn't. Oregon's a very experienced team. They went 14-0 at home, and the Ducks have tied the program record for a winning streak. Chance to break that in the Sweet 16. Oregon, one of the last 16 volleyball teams playing in the country, and they're not satisfied with that. This team has not been shy about saying that all year long. It's been a fun time with Oregon head coach Matt Ulmer. So, Coach Ulmer, we talked with him on Monday before the Ducks hit the road, really hit the air. I got to get better at saying that, don't I? Like when you have to fly somewhere, it's really, you're not hitting the road, you're hitting the air. Ducks are now out in Louisville. Happy to report, Ryan told us that Knight, who's going to be on the broadcast for KWVA, he is at the airport right now. So Knight is going to make it in time for that 8 a.m. start tomorrow. You can watch on ESPNU, and you can tune in on KWVA for the hometown call on the student radio station as well. Our conversation with Matt Ulmer, it's always entertaining. You might need some ibuprofen. Here we go. The Sweet 16 bound Ducks head coach Matt Ulmer joining us. Welcome back to the studio. You know, I want you to know something. Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, is joining us. I want you to know something.
Okay.
When I schedule ahead and I put these calendar events on the coaches' calendars, they could decline them, which means then they don't come on and do the interview.
Which I learned.
Yeah, he did learn that.
Yeah.
But you were kind enough to accept it all the way through next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to know that that's not now wishful thinking on my part and hopeful thinking on my part. That's a reality because the Ducks are going to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA volleyball tournament, traveling this week. We're talking on a Monday because tomorrow, a Tuesday, they're traveling to play at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. local time. Is it 11 a.m. local time? 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Is that in the Eastern time zone? Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 11 a.m. local time, 8 a.m. Pacific time. The Ducks will be playing in the Sweet 16 against Nebraska, and that means that you are stuck with us next week.
I loved how your energy just went up there. That was
nice.
I
really hope that we're doing the interview on Zoom, okay?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm outstanding.
Thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you for always being here.
Thanks.
I wanted you to do something nice for you. I don't know. Did you watch our interview with Brooke Nunaviller last week?
No, I didn't.
She was outstanding.
How did I miss it?
Well, you had a lot going on.
Okay.
But I told her the story of how you gave us your first career win ball to sit here in the studio. Yeah. Do you remember who that was against? Does everybody remember who that was against?
I do recall.
Yeah. Oregon won over Nebraska 3-1 on August 25th of 2017. So I wanted to see, do you want to take this with you?
No, but we need to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you know why I like it here?
I told Brooke why I think you like it here.
Why?
No, you could go
No,
first.
no, go ahead.
You go first.
Nope.
Okay. I said because you like us to be reminded of you and be thinking about you every day.
100%. That's it. That's it.
So I said that to Brooke, and she was like, "Oh yeah,
that sounds right.
That's that's accurate.
That's it."
So
I just want it always to be right there.
Yeah. I'm also really glad though that now you have a ball for your 100th win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I felt like you probably had a spot on the mantle for this, and you were kind enough to donate it to the studio for now anyway.
If you want, I could bring the other ball and I could put it on your desk. Would you like that?
No,
okay.
You got to have one somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right?
Sure.
Hey, congratulations, though.
Thanks.
On a tremendous season and 14-0 at home.
I know. How about that?
Ducks go undefeated at home. How big of a deal is that for your program?
I think it's really a big deal. I mean, I really want our season ticket holders to go up. I want the atmosphere, to continue to increase. I want more fans to come. I want everyone to see what a great show women's volleyball is and how Oregon does it. And, I think winning quickly, I think people like that.
No doubt.
So I think when you show up and, and we put on a great show for you, then I think people bought in. So, no, it was great. There were some really great matches at home this year. It was a very memorable year. And I hope that the people that came this past weekend are going to want to come back in 2023.
A win over LMU to start out the tournament on Friday. Then on Saturday, a win over Arkansas. I do want to ask you a couple questions about that before we preview the tournament ahead. But being one of the last 16 teams playing, let's maybe start there. That's awesome, right? Like, I feel like it's one of those things where, at least from my chair and talking with you all year long, knowing your team, that it's like you're going to celebrate that, being one of the last 16. But you're not really happy with just being one of the last 16, are you?
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that we're playing. I'm thrilled that we're still going.
But
now,
you want to be one of the last 8.
Did we expect to be here? Yeah,
okay.
We expected to be here. This is, again, this group has big goals. We've said it from the beginning, and their goals are still ahead of them. So, one of them has been met, and we're still playing, and we still get an opportunity. But, no, this group is ready to go, and Nebraska's really good, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, and, we prepared for this.
Yeah. So going back now, I do want to ask, like, on Friday, you had earned the right to host. Were there nerves for the team, like more than another match, because it was the beginning of postseason? And I don't know. Like,
I think if you watched us in the beginning, because we were. I think there was the first few points of LMU were a little shaky.
Yeah.
And then the first set of Arkansas. They're both very good and they have a lot to do with it, but I think we weren't very sharp, and I think some of that was some nerves. But then we got playing our volleyball and. Kind of ran away with it.
I wondered if there was added pressure from being at home.
I don't think there was added pressure. I think it was like you're amped.
Yeah.
You want to be so good and you want to do it, and then the crowd is great and the student section is going crazy, and it's like you just want to go do it, but then you kind of get a little out of control sometimes. But it was a great weekend.
That's awesome. So what did you take away from I guess you described a little bit of a slow start against Arkansas, but then you just stormed away with it, felt like.
Yeah, we just made a lot of unforced errors against Arkansas. And again, I think a lot of it was from being over-aggressive, not from being timid or anything. So, it's understandable. We can't keep doing that going forward. So we need to make sure we're coming out right away and we're on our game and we're executing. But I thought we did a lot of really good things. And probably the fourth set against Arkansas was one of the best sets we've played all year.
Really?
And we sided out at 100%.
Wow.
That's amazing. We were 10 for 10, and we hit a 6-13, no hitting errors, and served great. We did everything. We blocked 15 balls in that match, and Arkansas was a really good team. I thought that was a really nice set for us.
I thought this was a great example, too, of the way that your program has been built really over the last few years. You and I have had a lot of conversation about this, but Kiari Roby comes in and does some amazing things. Just the depth of the team even on display in that moment.
Yeah, I thought Colby Neal against LMU was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Kiari Roby, who didn't play in the LMU match, came out against Arkansas and was just lit it on fire, and she was amazing. And so, yeah, again, we have Carson and Kiari and Colby right now who are healthy, and that's the first time all year we've had the three of them healthy. Reagan Hope is still dealing with an injury, but we have the three of them, and so I think it's more about matchups. What do we need? And I think they're all ready to bring it and do what they have to do.
How rewarding is that as a coach to have a team then that they're always ready to go? Like having depth is one thing, but having depth and being able to utilize that, I feel like maybe is a different thing for a coach.
Well, I think we've talked about all year, like that to me has been the biggest challenge of the season, is having so many good, talented, amazing players on our bench.
Yeah.
So it's great this time of year, especially when you want to match up or you want to do some different things or give different looks. Maybe they don't have that scouting report. Maybe they're not expecting that. But also then they're not playing all the time. So, again, you had somebody like Kiari who didn't play against LMU. Well, Kiari is so good, you know. So can she handle that? Can she stay within the game? Can it be about the team? Can everybody buy in? And I think that's really difficult to do, but this team has done such a great job. I'm really proud of them.
I want to revisit something that I talked about with Brooke Nuneviller last week and you last week about the culture of the team. You haven't shied away from expectations, and it feels like everybody's really bought in. That's what makes a season like this fun so far.
That's it. And, again, that's why, yes, we're going to enjoy right now because we are achieving our goals. But, yeah, we want to just keep going. And I think for us, we've done a really good job of being present.
Yeah.
We really, again, we've been talking about, we just want to play 1 point at a time, the best that we can, give our best effort. And so far that's, been really good for us. And I think that's what's made us so consistent and hard to beat is because you're going to get our best effort each and every time. So you're going to have to beat us we haven't given much away.
You and I also this year talked at length, actually, on one of your segments with us about how volleyball has really shifted, like a lot of sports at the collegiate level have shifted, with video and scouting reports being much more available maybe than they were, I don't know, 10 years ago for sure. In the postseason, how has that changed maybe from 10 years ago? Because you're matching up with somebody that you maybe haven't seen since non-conference, and you get so familiar playing in the Pac-12. Is it any different as you get ready to scout and prepare?
Yeah, I think one of the traps you can fall into is you try to do too much.
Yeah.
You know, to try to you forget who you are. So I thought against Arkansas in the first set, also we forgot who we were, and I thought we made some different choices. That we weren't very comfortable with, because of whatever they're doing, as opposed to just play our game, be really good at our game. Understand some of their tendencies, understand some of the things that we're going to try to do from a defensive side. But for the most part, we just need to show up and be who we are, because who we are is pretty good.
Really good.
Really good.
Really
Can
good.
be.
Yeah. Really good.
Really good.
I'm just going to keep saying, it kind of wills it into
I like that.
Into existence.
Really
Really
good.
good.
Yeah.
Nebraska, what do you know about them?
Really good. Yeah. Yeah.
That was well
Thank
done.
you. Yeah,
that
thanks.
was good. Okay.
Thanks. I can bring that to the the basketball games if you want. I'll sit with you.
Yeah.
We had a nice moment.
We did. He sat. I don't know if anybody that heard.
Everybody who's not listening to you for the men's basketball game.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You were right.
End of the first half, heading into halftime. Thanks for doing that, by the way.
Anytime.
Second time this year that I've been given a giveaway, and also ended up on the video board. I want everybody to know that are watching this right now. And yes, I wore the Matt Ulmer socks.
Look at those legs.
It really felt right to wear the Matt Ulmer socks. Coach, I was on the air while this was happening.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I did.
Yeah, Kelly McGilvery running camera didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a good time. Thanks for doing that. You have a good time with
Are they
it.
undefeated while you wear the socks?
Yes. Yes, they are.
So
yes, they are.
Wash them.
No.
Do it again.
Well,
because you got to wear them again.
Well, right, but
you're not going to wash them?
Come on, dude.
If you have lucky underwear, you still wash the underwear. You don't just wear the underwear again.
Boy, we could have a real big argument about superstition here
What?
right now. You could have a big
I've won
argument.
15 in a row with 2 pair of underwear. So they've been washed. Okay? They have been washed a lot.
That's
okay?
good. That's good.
All right.
That's a program record.
So if
Ties
you
a
want
program record, by the way. I'm trying to pivot you back.
I'm kind of shocked that I just shared that with everybody, but
I'm trying to take you back to the
that's
left
how much.
lane.
That's how important it is to be right.
You're
God,
right.
I just divulged that.
Yeah,
But I definitely washed them.
Well,
I want everybody to know I washed them.
I want to go back. I want to go back to something that Rob Mosley said.
Oh, you want to get away from that?
Last week. No,
Okay.
actually, I'm going to double down with you.
Okay, good.
Rob Mosley said last week that that our relationship is just different.
Yeah.
No other way to put it.
I don't know what that means.
No other way to put it.
Better or worse? Just different.
Both.
Both.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah,
Could be
that's
both.
true. Yeah.
But thanks for
Wash
the shirt,
the socks.
by the way. They have been washed. Don't
Okay.
worry.
All right.
Don't worry. I really don't have a whole lot to say after part 1 of that segment. I'll be honest. When Scott cut it into 2 pieces so that we could take a break here and then come back and hear more from Coach Ulmer, I was like, of course, that's the spot where we're at the midway point. Thank you for that, Scott. Thank you. Thank you for that. Of course, that was the midway point. No. It's fine. More coming up. Coach Ulmer. Scott's still going to be here when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Toyotathon is on and here to help make the holidays magical.
You made it!
By helping you see friends and family both near and far.
Dealer inventory may vary. Toyotathon ends January 3rd. Participating dealers only. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Toyotathon is on and here to help make the holidays magical.
You made it!
By helping you see friends and family both near and far.
Dealer inventory may vary. Toyotathon ends January 3rd. Participating dealers only. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
We are back inside the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Today, Oregon volleyball going through their final practices and preparations for the 8 a.m. Pacific time matchup with a really good Nebraska team. Very good Nebraska team. There's a reason that both of these squads are in the Sweet 16 playing out in Louisville. Steve's asking the important question in the comments right now. Does 2 pair of underwear actually help get an undefeated home record? I think Matt Ulmer would say yes. Again, of course, that was the midway point where we took a break. Thanks, Scott. Part 2. We endeavored to talk volleyball with Matt Ulmer ahead of the Sweet 16 matchup at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I want to share something. I did ask you to give a scouting report on Nebraska.
Sorry. Okay.
Let's do that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Just come back for that. Let us take a left turn. What's the volleyball equivalent of like out of left field? The phrasing from baseball.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's nothing like that.
I don't think we have one.
Like serving from the rafters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
If there is one, I've never used it.
Anyway,
I've been around volleyball for a long time.
Coming out of left field. So you were on, and it was a lot of fun.
Why is that the baseball one? Out of left field.
There's a lot.
What about left field?
A lot of weird phrases in baseball.
What is it? Why is
furthest away from where the action mostly takes place?
How does that make sense?
I don't know.
Isn't right field just as far away?
Depends. Depends on where the outfield shifted for the hitter based on the scouting report.
Okay, but what if it shifted the other way?
I don't know. Could be out of right field.
All right.
Just the old phrase. I'm
going to have to Google that.
Where'd the phrase can of corn come from?
What is it?
Can of corn's just like a routine pop-up.
Can of corn.
So I think it came, I'm assuming, like if you knocked a can off the top shelf at a grocery store and it just like casually falls right into the basket. Yeah. That's what I've always assumed.
I don't think I actually know can of corn.
Oh, yeah.
Which is shocking.
Yeah. You are a baseball person.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. My mom texted me while, you knew I was going to bring this up.
I forgot until now.
My mom texted me while Coach Ulmer was joining me on the basketball broadcast, and she said, Coach Ulmer is like your Bill Walton.
Yep. To which I said, you are.
I don't know.
Dave Pasch, right?
Well, we hadn't decided. I mean, maybe I'll be Roxy Bernstein. He's a Pac-12 grad,
But a lot of people would take that as an insult. I tune in to listen to Bill Walton.
Right. So you're not listening to me.
Yeah. No, I think your mom was spot on. I took it as a great compliment, and I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, that was really well done. Matt Ulmer, Bill Walton.
I
Jr.
love when Bill Walton
us.
does our Oregon games.
Well, I do too because
love it.
Look, I've said this before. A lot of people have always said like, people joke like, Joey, I bet your ratings go through the roof when Bill's on because some people just don't like the style. I get it, but I'll just say this: if everybody in the world was half as curious and fun as Bill Walton, we'd be living in a way better world. Like, the guy is just a gem.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Learned my name after meeting me once.
That's
that
good.
guy meets like 100 people a day. Just stuff like that. You don't forget
That's nice.
that. You know? Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It also helps that you're very tall.
Yep, that's true. He's taller than I am, though.
Yes,
by
he
a
is.
lot, actually.
I think you might have better hair.
I think your hair is kind of like his, right? Don't you guys kind of have similar hair?
know.
I think kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm Bill Walton?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No.
But your hair.
No. Thank you.
I'll keep my hair, but
Thanks.
I appreciated your mom's thoughts there, and I think she's spot on.
So I think
smart
at
lady.
some point, very
smart.
the best.
Yeah.
I think at some point we've often said that.
Does your
when
mom
you're-
watch this?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
I know yours does too. She told me as much.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When visiting.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah. I also did I tell you that I spoke with Mr. Nunaviller?
No.
Yes. Yeah. I told Brooke this as well, but I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Mr. Nunaviller came up to me while I was, I think, holding my son at the time.
Okay.
Post-match, and he said, "Hey, you got to stop saying all those mean things." And I was like, "Ugh, I don't know who you are." And I didn't know what he was referring to. And then
Because he
like,
could be right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
1,000%,
right.
yes. And so then, he said, "Oh, I'm Brooke's dad." And that was sort of the end of the conversation. And I told Brooke that, and she was like, "Yep."
What are the mean things?
No,
like to me?
No, he was joking.
Oh, okay.
Like, because I say a lot of nice things about volleyball and
I see.
Brooke. And
Got it. Okay.
Boy, but
sarcasm.
The fact that you didn't get there.
I didn't.
with sarcasm.
No, because I thought for sure he meant it about you.
Maybe he did. Maybe I've interpreted this entire conversation wrong.
So I'm gonna have to ask him now.
Please let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. Gosh, I don't think I've ever once said anything bad about Brooke.
No, not about Brooke.
Oh, just about you.
Just me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He probably appreciates that.
He probably does appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, Bill Walton joining us. God,
See, I'll join you anytime. I'll be your Bill.
I actually think that that would be a hilarious broadcast.
Do you think people though wouldn't like it?
I think it would be split. I honestly do.
All right.
So,
I don't want to take away from.
I've told you this before.
Not you, but the game.
Well, exactly. My
I'll
style
take away from you.
You should take away from me. My style, if you ever listen to me do basketball, my style is very, here's what's happening right now. Where's the ball? What's the score?
Mhm.
Like, that's always been my style.
Painting the picture.
Yeah, and I believe that a big part of my job is people who are in the car unable to see, they just want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
The folks that sync up the broadcast to the TV so they can hear the local guy, we love you. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
But, I think, like, somebody always draws the short straw and has to make the beer run at halftime, right? Like,
right.
I'm for that person sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I just try to keep people up to date
That's
on what's
nice.
happening. That's always been my style.
When you wake up and you're like, here's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not an overly, like, embellisher radio broadcaster. It's just never been my style.
Yeah. It's more straightforward.
And so I think that there would be people who like that.
On point.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Who would hear you and be like, what is he saying right now?
Yeah.
That's
generally what most people do with me.
Matt's musings, though, has a really nice ring to it.
It's matted.
Yeah. Which, by the way, everybody, today we got a package from Tobiah. He shipped us the old school cards, by the way. And I want everybody to know.
They're in great condition, by the way.
They are in great condition. Arrived in great condition. The new edition of the Oregon trading cards are actually coming to Jackson soon. But I'm not going to show the whole thing because it has Tobiah's name and address. But he wrote, Joey #GetMatted Mac. So we've determined that getting matted is, of course.
I feel like that's worth the point.
A style. I actually agree. I agree. You're now up 3. This is domination.
That's worth the point.
So getting matted is to wear socks with sandals.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what we decided,
Okay.
right?
With thong sandals.
Yes, has to be. Not slides.
Not slides. No, that's too common.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's like every court player does that, right?
Yeah.
Boy, this really took a left turn, and it's just so on brand. Nebraska. 8 a.m. I know it's an early one, Coach. Does that change things? 11 a.m. local time, 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. The Ducks can tune in for volleyball against Nebraska.
We'll
Does
play
it
them
change
anytime, any place. Let's do it. They're good. They're the same style. Arkansas 6'2". Their middles are really dynamic. They get the ball to them a lot. All pin hitters are good. Setters, they're good. They're really good. One of the best defensive teams in the country. I think the 2 best passing teams in the country are Nebraska, Oregon. So I think that'll be fun. A game within the game, to see how that goes.
Interesting.
it's a big-time match, and I think the Ducks are excited for it.
It's going to be on ESPNU. You can tune in, 8 a.m. Breakfast with the Ducks.
Breakfast with the Ducks.
Can I borrow a phrase from your counterpart that coaches the football team?
Mm-hmm.
So on the coach's show with an early kickoff, Georgie asked him the same question I just asked you, and he basically said the same thing, but his version was eggs breakfast and go whoop ass.
Yeah, I just can't say that.
Okay.
But I like it.
Okay.
I like that.
T-shirts were born.
T-shirts, I bet. Were they?
Yeah, actually.
Are there any extra?
No. I still think Georgie deserves royalties for asking that question.
Because I feel like I would wear that on game day.
Really?
I think I would wear that on this game.
Channel it. Well, I appreciate you always taking the time. I always end with keys to success, Sweet 16 against Nebraska. Tell us a little bit about the Huskers and what's it going to take to beat them.
BS, from point one. And, again, we've talked about, competitiveness, that look in the eye, like we need to show up just ready to absolutely run through a wall. And we will. And so it's going to be a great match because they're really good and we're really good, and stakes are high.
Matt Ulmer.
Thank you.
The Oregon volleyball head coach. Safe travels. Thanks for recording with us early, and best of luck out there.
I'll see you on the basketball court.
I hope to not see you for like 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, or longer.
Sure. Well.
I'll see you anytime.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. I want everybody to know that when I thanked him like that, he was completely speechless. First time ever Matt Ulmer has been speechless. We got him. It took until the Sweet 16, but we got him. That's right. Coach Ulmer is always the one who says something as we go to break, and on that one, he had nothing. And it's not like we cut it off. I want to be very clear. This is not like Gabe and Ryan cut it off quick. There was nothing else there because he was laughing and could not say anything. It's a great feeling today. We're going to get a timeout. When we come back, Matt Ulmer actually today, along with a couple student athletes, met with the media to preview the Sweet 16 round against Nebraska. A lot of volleyball today, and why not? Because they're one of the last 16 teams playing. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Rob Mosley is also with the Oregon volleyball team. That's why we don't have Rob here in the studio today, because he's going to be covering it on GoDucks.com for you coming up. And the Ducks getting ready for a matchup with Nebraska. So that was Matt Ulmer from earlier this week talking with us. Now, Matt Ulmer, a couple student athletes, met with the media out in Louisville today. Press conference getting ready for the Sweet 16. Again, 8 a.m. tomorrow, KWVA for the radio broadcast, the hometown call, and then ESPNU's got TV for volleyball tomorrow at 8 a.m. Matt Ulmer, his student athletes, previewing that Sweet 16 matchup with the Huskers.
Thanks for having us. Everybody's been awesome, and just appreciate all the staff here at Louisville and the Louisville community being so gracious and welcoming, and just a first-class event, and we really appreciate it. And we're excited to be here and excited to play a great Nebraska team, and hopefully the crowd's going to bring the energy, and we're going to put on a good show for everybody, and we're excited to play some Oregon volleyball.
Hoping to ask about Hannah's impact today. Matt, if you could just start with just kind of the impact she's had and kind of what you had hoped for with her addition, and then Hannah, if you could just follow up with kind of what you were looking for in a different school and how that you feel like it's working out.
I think Hannah impacts us in a variety of ways, but I think one that's really hard to measure until she's in the gym is just how confident she is as a teammate, as a leader. Her voice is consistent. She has total belief in her abilities. It's been fun to coach. It's been fun to work with. I feel like we have a pretty good relationship where we can talk volleyball, and it's not too serious and it's not stressful. I think she just handles that pressure really well, and she's surrounded by great teammates that I think really just bring out the best in her, and it's been fun to watch her compete every day.
Yeah, I mean, looking into going to a new school, it can be hard, and I think a lot of people have a lot of questions, and you try to write your questions for the coaches and everything, but one thing that stood out was I think 7 Oregon players reached out to me, and that's carried on over. Like, I couldn't ask for better teammates, and those people are what made the transition so easy. And now being here and being a part of this team, it's a constant culture of winning, and everybody wants the same thing. We strive for the same goal, and I think that's put into practice every single day.
Matt, what work have you done to get your team ready to play a match at 8 a.m. according to your body clocks?
We practice in the morning at home all the time, so we're fine. In the preseason, we went to Minnesota and Miami back-to-back weekends. We played the Miami matches earlier in the day. I think our match against Miami was noon or something like that. The idea was to prep for this, and here we go. It's right. So, again, this group, one of our things is we don't make excuses, or we sure try not to. And I think, we're just excited for the opportunity, and, we just want to play Nebraska anytime, anywhere, and here we go.
When you say you practice in the morning, what time do your normal practices start?
8:30 is when we start them. So they're up before that.
Yeah, Matt, can you just kind of share about Brooke's story? Did you recruit her as a libero or as an outside? Did she get to compete as a freshman for outside, and I guess kind of her progression in the program?
Yeah, so I worked with Brooke when she was with USA Volleyball, 14, it's been a long time. And she was a libero in the pipeline. But for club and for high school, she was always an outside, and she would just do everything as an outside hitter, and recruited her as an outside. We actually had Georgia Murphy, who our libero is now, was committed before Brooke. And so we knew the next year coming in, our libero was coming in. And so I just thought in my head, how neat would it be to have Brooke and Georgia on the court for 6 rotations together? I thought that'd be pretty special. And the outside hitter that Brooke has become is because of Brooke. She's the hardest worker I know. You tell her she can't do it, she'll prove you wrong. And I think, she plays with so much passion and intensity. And, she's created herself to be this just an amazing 6-rotation outside hitter that's terminal, that can play libero at the highest level, but is now scoring at the highest level too. So, she in 2018 as a freshman, we didn't need her on the left, and I don't think she was ready for that yet, but she was ready to be a great libero for us, and she was, and then she made the transition.
Just what in general stands out about Nebraska when you're watching their matches, especially the last couple when they haven't had Kenzie Knuckles in there?
Well, I mean, their defense, number one. We've had a great offensive year, led by what Hannah's been doing, but that's really going to be tested against Nebraska. I think, you just got a really solid block everywhere. There's no easy answers. There's no easy side outs. There's no easy rotations as far as what we're dealing with them. And Yeah, I mean, Knuckles is one of my favorite players to watch, so I'm sad that she's not out there because, I mean, I like competing against the best. We like competing against the best, and she's definitely one of the very best. And, so I'm bummed for her and the team and volleyball in general. But, having Allie in there is no slouch, and she's just fine on her own. So I think, I think they're a little bit of identity lost maybe, but they'll find it, and they already have. And, I believe John knows what he's doing, and he'll figure that out as he always does. And I think we're going to get Nebraska's best effort, which we're expecting. And, I think they can score from every position. I mean, they're loaded, and I think they're a very confident bunch, and we're excited to play them.
Mimi, it's been talked a lot about this year, just your poise as a freshman. You're on the road in the NCAA tournament for the first time. What's this experience been like? What do you feel like you learned last week that can help you going forward?
Yeah, I think definitely just leaning into my teammates has been a huge adjustment for me. These girls, like Hannah was saying, like this team is incredible. And just making sure I'm leaning into them has definitely helped me maintain, like you said, like my poise on the court. It's an exciting time. We're always playing good teams. Like Matt said, we're getting everybody's best. And yeah, just making sure that we're leaning together as a team and playing as a team and playing Oregon volleyball is a great way that we're going to pull to win.
Hannah, I don't know what time y'all practice at Washington State, but when do you practice then? And what do you like about 8:30 a.m. morning practices? What do you get out of that, and how's that kind of help get you going in the morning with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to start your day with your favorite thing to do and your favorite people to be around. So we get up, and I think it kind of sets the precedent for the rest of your day. When you wake up and you're getting after it from 8 o'clock, or you're in there before for treatment at 7:30, the rest of your day is going to follow suit.
Is it a different level of, I don't know, just ramping up when you're getting going for practice as opposed to you've played some early day matches? Is it a different kind of ramp up to get that level of competition?
I would say like maybe the intensity level is a little different, but we try to treat our practices just like we would a game, so we replicate that as much as possible. So when we get to situations like this, we're more than prepared.
And as Matt mentioned, I mean, top 5 offense against #1 defense in the country. Just what are the keys to kind of keeping you guys in system and operating at the level you want to be at offensively?
Yeah, I mean, like Mimi mentioned, it's about playing Oregon volleyball, and so we try to really focus on what's happening on our side of the court, and I have the utmost faith in our passers, and our passers help us create the offense we want, and our hitters are going to continue to do what they do regardless of who we play on the other side.
Hannah Pukas, Mimi Collier, a couple all-region honorees, not just all Pac-12, all-region honorees for Oregon volleyball. And then, of course, the head coach, Matt Ulmer, previewing that 8 o'clock start. And a lot of the questions, doesn't surprise me, a lot of the questions from the media that are on site there in Louisville are about an 11 a.m. local time start against Nebraska and an 8 a.m. Pacific time start. But again, Oregon, morning practice, you heard Coach Ulmer even talking with us about that. I don't think it bothers them very much. Now, look, I see some of the same numbers that everybody else does. That, for example, football teams that play at 9 a.m. on the body clock on the East Coast, they tend to lose those games. I think this is a little different story. This is a team that's gotten acquainted out there a little bit, and I'm looking forward to watching them on ESPNU and listening to Nat Uretsky make the call on KWVA. It's going to be a good time. All right, quick timeout. When we come back, switching gears a little bit. Volleyball tomorrow, basketball on the horizon. And then we're going to review our Hall of Fame class. Didn't get a chance to do that with so much going on, but now that it's finals week, we have a little bit of time to review that Hall of Fame class for Oregon Athletics. More on that when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans! Jackson's is a proud sponsor of Oregon football. And this holiday season, we have the perfect stocking stuffer for the Duck fan in your family. Oregon football trading cards. The cards will feature your favorite Duck football student athletes, so collect them all to complete your set. Be on the lookout for these cards coming soon exclusively to your local Oregon Jackson's food stores. Visit jacksons.com for store locations.
Jackson's. Let's go.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it is Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. So the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame class, we always get the chance to talk about them, but it's always during football season. And so it very quickly ends up being a sort of, I don't even know the right description. It's like we just don't have enough time to give it, I feel like, the time that it deserves. We do a great event every year honoring the inductees, and then we do a Q&A up on stage, Jerry and I do, and then we don't get a chance really to show the fans about it. We talk about the inductions when they get selected and announced, but we just don't, I feel like, have enough time during the regular season to really give it the time it deserves. And that's what I want to do over the next couple days, because it's finals week. There's less events going on for Oregon athletics as football's still ramping back up toward the Holiday Bowl with finals going on. And so Daniel Miernicki, class of 2012, men's golfer. He was inducted this year, the only four-time all-conference honoree in program history, Daniel Miernicki. And he went on to a great professional career. Got the chance to catch up with him as part of the Hall of Fame ceremony, and we celebrate the 2022 Hall of Fame class today. Hear a little bit from Daniel Miernicki.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you here. We got a list of about 30 questions here.
Okay.
We're going to start when you're in the first grade.
Great.
No. You grew up in California, but you were born in Philly. Is that right?
Yes, we moved to San Diego when I was 6, and that's where I grew up. Went to high school in San Diego, and then Eugene, obviously, after that.
Yep.
Why'd you pick Oregon?
Yeah.
Casey's a great recruiter. No, I thought the opportunity to play for, a coach that played professional golf at the highest level was unique and something that I wanted to do. Took a visit to Oregon and, fell in love with the Northwest and been here ever since.
When did you pick up golf? What got you into golf?
My dad's a PGA teaching professional, so it was instilled in me early. Yes, yeah. So started when I was like 6, and then I've been playing ever since.
So there was never a doubt, is what I'm hearing.
No, not really. No.
What do you shoot today?
What do I shoot?
Yeah.
Well, I played Eugene Country Club today. Wasn't my best, right around par. We had fun, though.
Okay.
You can't get to where you are in life, and certainly in your game and to the Hall of Fame without people in your life having an impact. Go back as far as you want. Who are those that have helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, obviously my dad, my teaching professional, introduced me to the game. Still my coach today. And then when I came to Oregon, it was Casey. Casey, taught me how to be a high-level amateur player and a professional also.
Thinking about thank yous, favorite memories too. I imagine some of them involve your coaches, your dad. Favorite memories of you here at Oregon?
It would probably be my entire sophomore year. We had a young team that won a bunch of tournaments in a row, and we ended up finishing the regular season ranked number 1. And Oregon golf isn't track or football, so it was pretty unprecedented, and to be a part of that was really cool.
Who are your heroes? I mean, you watched the game of golf, obviously your dad, but the PGA guys that you looked at and thought, I want to get to that level. I want to be like that.
think, well, Tiger was, I was right in that wheelhouse. Yeah, I saw the dominance, maybe not firsthand, but he was the guy.
Casey introduced you and brought him up, right? Because they played together, didn't they?
I never met Tiger through Casey. I've never met Tiger, but familiar. Would love to meet him one day.
Well, we just happen to have Tiger here.
Yeah, where is he?
Boy, I wish we would.
Right.
You wouldn't be sitting there right now. I'm just telling you
I'll
that.
sit down. I'll sit down.
I think it's so cool to be able to sit here now and say that Oregon men's golf won a national championship. I think that you were a big part of building that ground that led to that championship. How do you feel about the trajectory and the legacy of the program that I feel like you really helped build?
Absolutely. It was so fun to watch that run. I watched with actually 3 former teammates, Eugene Wong, Andrew Vajaro. We watched the final, the Texas match, so that was really cool. It was fun, yeah.
Who's with you tonight? I mean, we talked about your dad and your family growing up. What's going on now?
My parents are here, my sister, my wife, tons of family. You heard them when I walked up here. Probably be the loudest applause I get. Tomorrow it might be a who, when I get up there, but
that was not a quiet golf clap. I just want you to know that. Okay. Well, it's special. I mean, you do something, and all the athletes that we honor do something that many of us dream of doing, but golf is something that a lot of us who are not athletes try to do. To watch you play the game so effortlessly and so easily. You ever think about coaching, or do you coach?
I don't coach. I probably don't have the patience for it. My dad is extremely patient. It's impressive. But maybe one day. You never know.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Miernicki, ladies and gentlemen, golf, University of Oregon.
That was cool. Again, the only 4-time all-conference honoree in program history. That's why he was inducted in his first year of eligibility, Daniel Miernicki. One of many that were inducted into the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame this year. And on tomorrow's show, Jerry Allen's actually going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit of football with the voice of the Ducks. And then, of course, recapping Oregon volleyball, because the Ducks will be in action tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll have some of the reaction from that match on tomorrow's show. And then Nick Reed, Daria Panova, Ernie Kent, Brianne Tyson-Eaton. We still haven't gotten to those conversations from the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame class. We'll have that for you on the show as well. Going back in time with a little bit of history for you. Man. Let's go Ducks, huh? Oregon volleyball. Your Cafe 2-minute drill is easy today. Watch volleyball tomorrow. Eggs, breakfast, and Duck volleyball. See you tomorrow, everybody.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous.